one of the things we've already discussed is Gall's law, right?
Right.
Every complex system that works came from a simpler system or group of systems that also works, right? Okay, so the first part of analyzing systems is actually taking Gall's law and doing the inverse. Okay, so you're looking at a complex system that already exists that may work
and
or
finding
may not,
the simple system?
and finding the simpler systems within
Cool,
it.
okay.
This is a process called deconstruction. And, if you think about it, part of what we were doing in the first several weeks of this course was an example of deconstruction, okay?
That makes sense.
So you have a business is a complex system, but you can break it down into parts, value creation, marketing, sales, value delivery, finance.
Right.
And if you understand all of those parts, put it together and you have a business.
Got it.
So it's really useful when you're looking at a business or some other complex system to take that complex system and then break it down into smaller parts.
Okay.
And that process is deconstruction.
Would you break it down into those 5 parts and then see if there are
for
more?
business,
Okay.
I would use the 5 core processes as your starting point and then go from there.
Okay.
Now, and what that allows you to do is figure out what systems are involved, how those systems connect to each other.
Right.
And you can examine each of those parts. This is an idea called isolation. Okay, so for example, marketing within a business system can't exist by itself.
Right.
Otherwise, it does nothing.
Right.
Okay, so you can't isolate it or treat it as marketing is the be all and end all,
Right.
or value creation is the be all and end all because it connects to things. But what deconstruction allows you to do is to take out part of a system and examine it as if it existed alone.
Okay.
So you can understand, what flows into the system, what flows out of the system.
Got it.
How does it connect? That's an idea called a trigger or an endpoint.
Okay.
Like, where does a process start?
Right.
And where does a process end?
Okay, I got
and
it.
what's the inflow and what's the outflow?
Okay.
And if you're able to do that, what you're able to do is actually create a description, which a business plan is an example of deconstructing a business idea, right? You can create a diagram. So, if you have a big, long, complicated process, like, last week we used the example of putting a card together.
Right.
First A, then B, then C, then D. If you've deconstructed the system so you know what A, B, C, D, and E are, you can actually create a diagram or a flow chart to describe exactly how the business works.
Cool.
So deconstruction is one of those things, it is the skill that you're using when you're analyzing any complex system. You're just breaking it into component parts, examining them to understand how they work and how they all fit together.
Cool.
And that is deconstruction.